Do the statement first and then do the pledge, or pledge and then statement?
I would do the pledge first and then the statement.
All right. Okay. Let us all stand for the pledge, please. And I know Ben has the flag there. All right.
You have
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Good evening to our Freeport District community. Thank you for joining us this evening. Sorry for the delay. These are very challenging times we are facing here in Freeport, Nassau County, New York State, throughout our country. The board would like to thank our administrators, teachers, and support staff for their tireless commitment in setting up distance learning, so our students are able to continue their education during these unprecedented and challenging times. We would also like to express our sympathy to the medical people and first responders who have worked tirelessly during this crisis. We are convening our board meetings to Executive Order 202.1, wherein Governor Cuomo has authorized alternative means for public entities, such as a Board of Education, to conduct public meetings. We are conducting tonight's meeting conference. Transcript meeting will be available at a later date. Tonight's board meeting will be somewhat streamlined and will only critical necessary business. Board policy 1510 and 2020 and 3020 identify the order of business for a regular board. Pursuant to Robert Rules of Order, the board will be amending its agenda to only consider times which are determined to be critical necessary business. As a result, I will entertain a motion at this time to remove the following items from our board meeting agenda for tonight's meeting only: visitors' comments, correspondence, board committee reports, old business, and visitors' comments. Can I get a motion?
so moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the order of business for tonight's meeting will be changed accordingly. We will now begin with our regular agenda. And with that, announcements. And we'll start off first with Ms. Vilma Lancaster. How are we doing, Vilma?
She can't hear you.
Got to unmute. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Okay, I have nothing for tonight.
Okay, Korea Jordan Awal.
No comments, President. Okay.
Gabby Castillo.
No announcement, sir.
Okay, Mr. Ron Elby.
No comment.
Okay, I have no comment. Dr. Cumshin, the floor is yours.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, President Kite. I'd like to welcome everyone for our online board meeting. I want to express my continued gratitude to all our Freeport staff members for their continued work, continued commitment, dedication, providing services to our students, not only online e-learning, but also providing the meals every single day. So certainly thanks to all the first responders, frontline heroes who are doing extraordinary work every day. But I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to our first responders, our wonderful food service employees, security staff, custodial staff, our nurses, social workers, providing extraordinary dedication, reaching out to all our families, taking care of their needs even beyond what the school can offer. So thanks, and thanks to all of you. Thanks to all the cabinet members, my colleagues who have been providing extraordinary support, along with all our administrators. So my sincere thanks. So we have a lot going on, although we are not in schools, but certainly tremendous work is going on behind the scenes, online. Tonight, we have an important item on the agenda, the adoption of the school district budget for 2021. And as everyone knows, that the process has been delayed. Finally, based on the directions we have under the governor's executive order, based on the timelines that we have to follow, we have to adopt the school district budget before this Friday, May 15th. So we are doing it today. Dr. Rella, our Assistant Superintendent for Business, will go through the presentation shortly and a little more in detail. But the Board of Education administration has been presenting the different parts of the budget since January. We have provided continuous updates at various meetings since January relating to the proposed budget, the details of the proposed expenditures. We have been updating you of the governor's executive proposal, followed by what happened March 31st, April 1st of the adoption of the state budget. Certainly the state is facing a major deficit, as you hear from the governor every single day. So the education budgets have been seriously impacted. Freeport certainly has been impacted with loss of state aid. So the district has made some significant cuts, but most importantly, not compromising the programs, services, and people. So we are able to keep intact what we have for next year. And for the first time in the last 6 years, we're going to have an increase. Last 5 consecutive years, the district has brought to the community a tax decrease, not even no increase, a tax decrease due to financial challenges by the state, which has impacted us. We're going to have an increase in the next year's proposed budget. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Rella to go over the details of the governor's budget, final budget, tax levy, and additional information about the additional proposition that's going to be on the ballot. Dr. Rella?
Thank you. So like Dr. Kuncham said, I'm going to be presenting the 2021 budget. First, we're going to talk about, I'm just going to bring you from where we started to a little bit of history, and then where we are now, to give some comparative purposes as to how we ended up where we are. First, based on the governor's executive budget proposal that was during the January to March timeframe, the proposal included an increase of $826 million, or a 3% increase versus the prior year. At the time, it was compared, was the smallest increase since the 13-14 year. Freeport was expected to see an increase in aid of about 1.5 million. At the time, the proposed expenditure budget was planned at approximately 191 million. The budget to budget increase compared to the prior year was at 3.39. This included 16 and a half additional staffing positions. At the time, the allowable tax levy cap was calculated at 6%, and the proposed tax levy at the time was 3.5%. Now, based on the adoption of the state budget, which was in April of 2020, the adopted budget included severe cuts to state aid. It included 1.128 billion in reductions. It does provide for a 1-year federal CARES Act support. And the governor was very clear that additional cuts are to be expected throughout the year. For the 2021 year, in terms of state aid, Freeport is expected to see a decrease in aid of 2.6 million. Therefore, the final proposed expenditure budget has been reduced to 188,263,107. This reduction of almost 2.9 million, this includes the removing of the additional 16 and a half new staffing positions that were added in the prior version. It also included reductions to the transfer to capital, some facilities lines, supplies, and equipment throughout the district. The final budget to budget increase is currently at 1.85. The allowable tax levy cap is still at 6%, and the proposed tax levy is now at 2.92. This is a summary of the originally planned positions, the addition of the 16 and a half positions that have since been removed as a result of the state aid cuts. You can see that these positions were spread throughout the district, so not one building has been impacted too severely. Here is a comparative of the January, at the time of the executive proposal, and now what we're dealing with the final adopted. It's really what we just discussed, but in a different format, so you can see side by side what happened to the aid. There was an increase, and now we're seeing a decrease with being told that there are more cuts to come. In addition, instead of aid increasing, it's now decreasing. Therefore, the expenditure budget has been decreased to account for the decrease that we're expecting to see in aid. You can see the budget to budget increase, the comparison of 3.39 to now 1.85, and the proposed tax levy is at currently 2.92 versus before at 3.5. Here is the final the final expenditure budget. You can see the adopted budget for the current year, 1920. As you know, the budget is provided in 3 components: administrative, program, and capital. Here are the 3 components. You can see the original proposed of the 3 components and now the revised proposed. So it's basically what we just discussed before, but in the various components. When you compare the variance of 1.85, it is the 188,263,107 compared to the adopted budget of the 1920 year, which was 184,847,632. This is a summary of the proposed reductions that total almost 2.9 million. The new staffing and benefits is approximately almost 1.3. Then there were reductions made to BOCES, operational costs, supplies, and equipment lines for 800,000, and then the transfer to capital and the facilities. Some of the facilities planned costs have been reduced in the amount of 747. So we talked about right now, up until this point, basically some of the things that we're losing. On the flip side, there's many things that are still included in this budget. Some of the highlights for the 2021 budget include that the budget maintains all current staffing and programming and programs. The budget supports programs to prepare students for college, career, and life readiness. It maintains all of the instructional technology and enhanced digital library. It includes continued focus on STEAM initiatives. It has continued support for health and safety for all of our students and staff. It maintains support for the services for our ENL population, as well as our students with special needs, including all of the BOCES services. In addition, it includes all after-school programming clubs, including, for example, robotics. In addition, there is still support for capital projects being planned. So the proposed tax levy, this is the portion, the revenue side of the budget. This is the portion of the budget that is raised from the taxpayers. It starts off with the allowable tax levy growth factor, which is CPI or capped at 2%. This year, CPI was 1.81. In addition, every district has specific allowables, includes and excludes, based on a formula that is provided for by the state. When we include all of Freeport's includes and excludes, our maximum allowable tax levy cap is at 6%. This does include a prior year carryover, which represents 1.57 of the 6%. This is because we didn't levy what our cap was last year. And in fact, Dr. Kunchum stated that we did, it was negative levy. So that produced a carryover, which then is carried over into your next year's calculation for the cap. So currently the proposed tax levy for this year is 2.92 or 2.5 million. There has been no tax levy increases for the last 5 consecutive years. This would be the first tax levy increase in 6 years. Looking at the revenue, you have the state aid and other sources of revenue, including the reserves. And you can see here the largest portion is still the tax levy revenue, where you can see the increase of the 2.5 million. In addition, there is a note there that we have not taken into account the most likely additional state aid cuts of an additional up to 20% in the coming year. So this is a look at the state aid. When we look at what our current aid is for 1920, you can see it's at a little over 82 million. When you look at the executive budget proposal for which was originally released in January, when we thought we were getting an increase, and now you can see what the decrease is from the adopted state aid budget. That is a loss of state aid of 2.6. It needs to also be taken into consideration that 1.7 million of the dollars that are in the 2021 adopted state aid budget, that includes the restoration from the federal CARES money. So if you were to remove this restoration, state aid would actually be about 4.3 million less than the governor's executive proposal that was issued in January. In addition, the governor is proposing additional state aid cuts for the coming year, potentially up to 20% in state aid, and he has broken them down into what we're calling periods. April being the first, April 2020, then the second projected from May to June, and then the third from July to December. There is, like I said, there is some proposed budget dollars in the transfer to capital. This is the listing of projects. The listing of project has not changed, although the funding has changed. If you don't put the listing of projects as part of the budgeting process, that you are unable, if you take them off the list, you are unable to actually try to do them. So basically we would use the same process. We would rank them, go out to bid. We would do the first round of projects, find out what the balances are, then re-rank the balance until we've depleted all the funds. The list is much larger than what the allocated budget is. We do make every accommodation to fulfill the list, but obviously there would be, we would do a hierarchy of this list and do our greatest need first. And also, due to the potential state aid cuts anticipated until the end of the year, and possibly beyond from the state, there will be no transfer until December 2020. The district is going to evaluate and may consider partial transfer or no transfers at all to the capital fund, and may need to transfer some of these budget dollars to other lines in the budget to meet any unforeseen expenditures, including any related to the COVID-19 expenses. In addition, Proposition 3, so Proposition 1 is the expenditure budget, Proposition 2 is the library budget, Proposition 3 would be to authorize to expend from the Capital Reserve Fund that was created in 2017. It's a two-step process. Step 1 being going to the taxpayers to create the fund, and then anytime you want to spend dollars from the fund, you must go out to the taxpayers again, providing them a list of projects and requesting to approve the proposition to spend the dollars from the fund. This is at no additional cost to the taxpayers, as the funds have already been raised. Once again, this is the same list of projects that were provided in the prior slide. Basically, we look at the greatest need. We can combine the budget dollars from the capital reserve fund and the transfer to capital, and we try to complete as many projects as we can possible. So these are important budget dates that are coming. Some of them have changed, and some of them, some of the past ones have remained the same. So it's just a listing of where we started from to where we are now, with today being May 13th, the adoption of the budget, May 27th, the annual public hearing, and then June 9th, the annual budget vote and trustee election. So that's it. Are there any questions?
Trustees,
No. Very well presented.
Thank you.
anybody else? Yes, Doctor, anybody else? We're all good? Dr. Rella, as always, thank you very much. I know there's more to come. Thanks for hanging in there with us, and we'll do it one day at a time. God bless us. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Dr. Rella, thank you for the presentation in detail. I just want to leave off again saying what has been already said in my remarks and also Dr. Rella's presentation. As always, the district has come up with a absolutely responsible budget, both educationally and fiscally, despite the challenges that we are facing currently. So all the programs, services and people are preserved. Certainly, it's a budget that will help us to get through next year. Just want to emphasize that, although the tax levy, one may think it's 2%, but there are several other calculations that go into that. So because of our past and present now, the tax levy, without piercing the cap, we could have gone all the way up to 6%, but we have come up with still at 2.92%. Not only 5 consecutive years, no tax levy increase, but if you look back a little further, 7 times in the last 12 years, we reduced the taxes. We had to bring this one with an increase. Also like to emphasize the capital reserve fund proposition. Right. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, the capital reserve fund proposition is coming at no cost to the taxpayers. This money has been already set aside, which allows us to continue to preserve our buildings and our facilities. That's coming at no cost to the district. So the public hearing will be on May 27, where the community will have an opportunity to ask any further clarification about the budget. Like always, the copies of the budgets are available at the administration office, in the district clerk's office. If anyone is interested to receive a copy, it runs into over 220 pages, 3 different documents. So they are available during regular hours. If anyone wants to pick up a copy, please call us. Please collect the copy. The PowerPoint presentation and some more details will be available online to be able to look at the information. That's on the budget, Mr. Kite, and June 9th, it will be by absentee ballot. The ballots will be mailed sometime very soon. We can go through those details shortly. The other important item on the agenda today, I just want to say a couple of things about it, is about the school calendar for this year. And as many know that the spring recess did not take place based on the governor's executive order. Schools, staff, students, everyone worked through the spring recess, and currently the governor's executive order, which extends all the way to June 6th, although he has announced schools being closed for the rest of the academic year, it does not allow the snow days that are built into the calendar also to be taken or used, and e-learning has to continue. So there may be more information that may be coming from the governor's office, but based on the review with our legal counsel and working with other offices, we are proposing a revised school calendar. What we're talking about is the ending day of the school year. So currently, based on the calendar that we adopted many months ago, June 26th is the last day of school. And there are no Regents exams, as you know. When you take the 7 days from spring recess and the 2 days, 2 snow days that were built into the calendar, which was not used, the schools will be closing earlier this time. So instead of June 26th, June 15th will be the last day for the teachers and other appropriate staff members. And the last day for our students will be June 12th, Friday, which is going to be a half a day on Friday. So we're requesting the board to approve the revised closing date. So the new dates, June 9th, June 12th, Friday for students, and for staff and teachers on June 15th. So that's, if there are any questions on that, Mr. Kite, or any members of the board?
Trustees, any questions?
No question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right, thank you. Well, I just want to say that the e-learning continuing,
Yeah.
sorry, Mr. Kite, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I had a question, but you didn't have a question. I'm sorry. It's muddled. Maria?
Oh, okay. I just want to say, Ernie, you have a question? I'm sorry. You
No,
have- Okay,
thought I
you
heard-
have, okay.
Yeah. Doesn't have, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I think all the aspects of schools functioning, certainly the e-learning has been going on extremely well with our teachers, teaching assistants, administrators working well. The meals continue to be provided, both New Visions and high school. Since March 18th, we have served over 41,000 meals up to this point of time. And we're very pleased, and thanks to also Long Island Cares, Island Harvest for their amazing partnership. We have been able to deliver many hundreds of tons of additional food to the families, the adults, whether they have children or not, they're able to pick up thanks to our staff and thanks to to Bethrella, Helen Kalanopolis, Beatrice Sarant, Kevin Randoza, all of them working to make things happen. And I know Alan Harvest has nothing but great things to say. They think that this is the one center, the best place where things are so organizedly being distributed. So things are going well. I think I just got an email today. Even Island Harvest will be able to provide some children clothes. So we're going to work on that, sorting them out to be able to provide based on the sizes. Again, our staff is working, making all these things happen. We had one of our partners, one of the companies that we partner with has provided the mask. We have given out probably a couple of thousand masks to our students who are coming to pick up the meals. There were toys given out from some families we have been able to get. So all of those things going well. The childcare that we have all partnered across the county at 8 to 10 different locations, that's kind of going well. We're waiting for the governor's announcement. I know Beth has talked about the potential cuts, and that we have been discussing, and every day the governor talking about potential up to 20% cuts for education. The first round is expected to be announced before May 15th. Things are still not happening in DC about the $500 billion package for state and local governments relief. So the second round of cuts potential in May and June, and the third round July through December. So when he talks about up to 20%, just to give you a frame of reference, even if the governor cuts 2% on our foundation aid is roughly $56 million. 2% can mean over $1.1 million. And if he does 2% in each of those 3 periods, that can be devastating for us. So that's something we're going to closely watch, make sure some of those capital project expenses, we'll wait to see how things shape up. We'll also have to see how any of the expenses relating to COVID-19 is going to start affecting. There's no clear guidance direction yet. However, the administrative team is working diligently our so-called reopening plan, looking at all the aspects, all the way from either we are coming back or not coming back. If we are coming back, how long? And if there's a potential second wave of COVID-19 in fall, how do we proceed in those months? What are the lessons we are learning right now from the e-learning? What are the gaps that exist that we can take care of it now and also into the future? If the state or the region comes out meeting those 7 criteria that the governor has laid out, what does that mean? Whether the entry is going to be on whether 10%, 25%, 50%, we don't know. We're looking at all the scenarios. I know we're looking at the larger spaces, smaller spaces, what is doable, what is not doable. If districts were to go on staggered hours, alternate days, shifts, many of those things have very serious consequences, not only on the facilities, but transportation costs and so on. So many unknown questions, but we are on all of them to be able to come up with the best possible solutions or collective minds, that can come up with best possible solutions. Different kinds of equipment are coming into the market, whether we need thermal scanners to check the temperatures of the individuals coming in. Other forms of equipment are all being kind of looked into. The immediate thing is really also the summer. Certainly where it's possible, definitely for high school, we're going to have a virtual summer high school for students who have to have additional credits, credit recovery. Those who are behind, we want to continue to help those students. Other areas, we're going to create a robust e-learning platform by literally every grade. And we're also looking into certain other areas where we can provide additional opportunities virtually. And the schools started formulating right now any of the events, from graduation of our seniors to moving up ceremonies. I just want to say about the high school graduation. I know this is not a senior year that anyone expected. Our seniors are certainly, we are disappointed, and our seniors are missing out on a lot of opportunities, and their normal rite of passage has been denied. We are doing everything possible. There has been questions about graduation ceremony being delayed. I just want to say that, as much the high school is planning, we're planning to record or do a virtual graduation, but nothing is going to rule out if there's a possibility exists, whether in July, August, or whatever the time frame. If there is an opportunity for us to have the entire class come together, which I'm not sure whether it will happen, but we will certainly take all of that into consideration to make it as memorable as we can for our seniors. I would urge to stay tuned from the high school or from us here. And the elementaries are planning for certainly, some virtual ceremonies for awards or a car parade for towards the end of the school year, which will be June 12th. So these things will be happening sooner than that. So lots happening. We'll come back to you with more information, or the schools will be conducting webinars as needed. So that concludes my report, Mr. Kite.
Thank you, Dr. Cutchin. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to the agenda, and then we're going to do consent to the agenda items, and we're going to start off with Vilma Lancaster.
The consent agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education in the Freeport Union Free School District hereby approves item number 5.2, personnel.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, other items for action. 6.1, Maria Jordan.
6.1, retirement of staff. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Freeport Union Free School District hereby accepts the letters of resignation for the purpose of retirement from the following staff members as listed. Luz Espinal. Do I have to read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Serving for.
Luz Espinal, cleaner, effective June 30th, 2020, after serving the district for 19 years.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Espinal, we thank you very much for your service. And although it says correct me if I'm right or wrong, it says June 30th, we understand that, but you might get a couple more days earlier since we're closing on the 15th. 6.3, Education Appointment of Scholarship and Honors Boards, Mr. Ron Elby.
6.2.
Okay, 6.3, Education, Appointment of the Scholarship and Honors Board.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. President, did we miss 6.2?
6.2.
Yeah.
We do right here. Go back to it. We already got a second. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 6.2, Gabby Castillo.
Sure. 6.2, education approval of consultants. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Freeport Public School District, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, hereby appoints the following individuals listed below as consultants for the 20, I think it says here 2019, 2020, up to 2020, 2021 school year.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, 6.4, Ms. Vilma Lancaster.
6.4, education. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby modifies the 2019-20 school district calendar to the extent that the 2020 and last day of teacher and staff attendance shall be June 15th, which day shall be designated as Superintendent's Day.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. 6.5, Maria.
6.5, finance, approval of emergency bid for general generator service and repair cooperative bid.
Is that 6.5?
6.5.
Just do me
Something else.
Second.
second, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. 6.6, finance adoption. Gabby.
Finance, adoption of the proposed Freeport Public Schools expenditure budget 2020-2021. Be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Freeport Union Free School District that the proposed expenditure budget for the 2020-21 school year in the amount of $188,263,107 to be adopted, and be it further resolved that the Board of Education of the Freeport Union Free School District hereby adopts the property tax report card.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go. Board comments. Ms. Lancaster.
As I said before, the presentation that was done on the budget, as usual, she's done a wonderful job, and thank you for being who you are and how you present your work. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Maria Jordan.
I just want to say thank you to everyone for continuing to work on your e-learning for all the students. I know you're all working really hard. It's really difficult to believe that we are in week 9, I believe, or week 10 of this. But I know that everybody's doing their best, and we're almost there. So hang in tight. A todas nuestras familias, rapidito, espero que todos estén bien. Es increíble creer que ya estamos en las como 10 semanas, y sé que se siente como un tiempo larguísimo, pero todo va a salir bien y sigan haciendo lo que van haciendo. Gracias.
All right. Gabby Castillo.
Just to echo what both Vilma and Maria have said, thank you, Dr. Ella. Thank you to the cabinet, Dr. Kuncham, for working so diligently on this fast-moving budget and the ramifications of what this global pandemic has brought even to our own very local community. There are many changes that are going to come. I know that we are going to be prepared for it. To the students as well, thank you for hanging in there. To our teachers and staff, thank you for also making changes in short amount of time that we've had these past few weeks. And of course, to our parents, hang in there. I know what it's like. We are almost at the finish line this school year, and we know that it's a trying time, but we are definitely working together and we'll get through it together. Thank you.
Welcome. Mr. Ron Ellaby.
No comment, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ellaby. Again, thank you, Dr. Ella, for the presentation on the budget. I know there's more to come. Thank you to the central administrators, school administrators, our principals, our teachers, our support staff. Just talk about first on the line. Our secretaries, our custodian, our security, and all of them. So I just want to thank them for giving all that they can in reference to what we're going through and adjusting on the fly. And thank you to our students and our parents. And like was echoed, hang in there. Working very hard to try to, with the e-learning, but at least trying to close out the year. Please pay attention, there's more to come. Also like to thank a lot of people from the outside. There's too many to list right now, but the point being that seniors, there's a number of people who are trying to maintain, our awards, scholarships that they have done in the past. They're making contact with the district to try to make sure and carry those things out. So please pay attention to that. Don't be surprised if somebody knocks on your door and there's, partial scholarship or whatever for you. Some people are doing some marvelous things there. And with that, Dr. Kuncham, your comments.
Yeah, so President Kite, again, my big thank you to all my colleagues who have been working every day hard, and certainly the fatigue of everything from e-learning to other things is catching up. But everyone is strong. Freeport is strong. Freeport School District is strong. We will get through. So I'd like to convey, wish everyone, stay well, be safe. Please continue all the important things that you have been doing, washing your hands, and most certainly social distancing. Continue to please make sure you not only you take care of yourself but others. Wear your mask, and thank you for being a very strong, united Freeport community. So President Kite, I would request for an executive session to discuss one specific legal matter.
Okay, can I get a motion from the board on the executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Our next scheduled board meeting will be on the 21st of the budget hearing meeting. This will be held on Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. This meeting will be conducted remotely through electronic means using Zoom conference video. The meeting will be live streamed website, and we'll begin at 7:30. Governor also announces rules changes for the 2020 school board elections and budget vote on Friday, May 1st, 2020. Governor Andrew Cuomo issued an executive order number 202.26, which modifies the rules under which school districts are to conduct the 2020 annual meeting for the election of school board members and budget votes. Date of the school budget vote and the Board of Education trustee election will be Tuesday, June the 9th, 2020. All voting will be done by absentee ballot only. Only registered voters can participate in the Freeport Public Schools budget vote and trustee election. Qualified voter must be a United States citizen, must be at least 18 years of age, must be a resident of the school district for 30 days preceding the election and not otherwise prohibited from voting under the provisions of Section 5-106 of the election law. An absentee ballot with a postage paid return envelope will be made to all qualified voters. Absentee ballot shall be received by the office of the district clerk no later than 5 p.m. on June 9th, 2020. Prospective voters can register to vote with the Loki County Board of Elections by completing an online application with the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles at dmv.ny.gov. More info, electronic voter registration application. For more information, please visit the district's website at www.freeportschools.org. And the candidates that are running for trustee election are Vilma Lancaster, Ron Ellaby, and Ms. Donna Raphael. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to close this meeting and now move to executive session. Okay. Robert?
Yeah, just 1 second, please.
Hey.
Good night.